what could I sell that's very special? What do you think I could sell? If I'm making a comic book, what's something very special I could sell to 4 people? We sold them the celebrity edition. What is the celebrity edition? The parents could give us $6,000 to have their children in the comic book. And 4 parents, they gave us the money to have their children in the comic book. Why did we do this? Not because we wanted to make a lot of money, just because we wanted to see if people would do this. Because normally we would say, nobody is going to pay us $6,000. Actually, 4 people paid us $6,000. So what we did with this is before we made the comic book, we had a lot of people give us money, and then we knew we have enough money to make the comic book. So we made the book afterwards. And we did that to test the idea. Because if you make a business and you haven't tested it, you might end up like Jay. So this is very, very important. So that, of course, the villains, they don't like that because the Kickstarter campaign made us very successful and the villains were a little bit sad. So let me see at this point if there are any other questions, and then I'll tell you how we crafted some stories. But I want you to ask some questions first. Maybe there's some more questions. I see Natalia putting her hands up, so let's let Natalia ask. You have to press on the unmute button. I don't know who can unmute Natalia.
Let me help her.
Okay.
There.
My question is, what's your vision or opinion about the future of the comics in the digital platforms trending now?
Very good question. Very good question. A lot of businesses, they have to go to the digital platform. But I'm not the right person to ask. Who do we need to ask? We need to ask the customers. So if you love comic books, I need to talk to all of you, and I need to ask you, do you read comic books on digital, or do you read comic books in physical books? And if I ask many people, or many kids, adults read comics as well, right? If I ask them, I'm going to learn what I should do. So I might believe, oh, everything needs to be digital, but I don't know. So rather than thinking, I know everything, you need to say, I know nothing, I'm going to go and test it, right? So of course, a lot of things will be digital, but sometimes when everybody does digital things, it's more interesting to do something that's not digital because you will be the only one. So do you see why I'm answering the question that way? Because you never know. Vision is good, but what's even better than vision is talking to the customers. That's why we talk to a lot of kids. And of course, and now I'll give you my answer, what are we going to do? We are going to sell our comic book digitally. Why is that? Why do we sell the comic book digitally? Because it's much easier. If we sell it physically, we have to send it through the post office until it gets to Mexico, until it gets to Singapore, until it gets to Ouagadougou. It's going to take a lot of time. So I think it's very easy to do it digitally, but it's only going to work if customers want it digitally. So I have to talk to customers. Very good question. Rebecca, you're the one choosing the people who can ask.
Okay, very good. So now we have Ana Paula. You may go. Go. Ask your question. Ana Paula, are you there?
Yes, my question is the other question. My hand is up. I am sorry.
Oh, okay, very
That's
good.
okay. That's okay. That's okay.
So who else wants to ask a question? I think I have Baruch. Yes, go ahead, Baruch.
Pues yo quería preguntar de dónde viene el nombre, cómo se les ocurrió.
Okay, so I'm gonna just translate for you.
Yeah.
He's asking you, how do you come up with the name of the comic?
So, very, very good question. What we did is we came up with many different possibilities, and we put them on a wall like this, okay? And then we actually started testing which name kids and parents like best. So just like I said before, we came up with a name, but what I think doesn't matter. What matters most is what people think. So we came up with many names, and then we took maybe 3 or 4, and we showed them to people, and then they told us which one they liked most. So that's the way we selected the name, by testing it. Because sometimes you have a favorite name, but sometimes it's better to actually test the different names and then see which one is the best one with the people you're trying to sell the comic book to. I like that question a lot. It was a very good question.
Okay, let's go now with Ari and Becky. Ari and Becky, what is your question, guys? Go ahead.
Yo, que Elan tenía Alex cuando empezó en Canva.
Oh, how old were you when you came up with the business model Canva?
¿A qué edad te iniciaste el Canvas?
Ay.
Está en silencio, Alex.
No?
Yeah, sorry, that was me.
Oh.
That was me. It was 20 years ago, so I was 27 years old. 27 years old. And it looks very simple, right? But it actually took us 4 years to make it. Yeah.
Okay.
To make
Let's go
something
with
very
another
simple,
question.
to make something very simple takes a lot of time.
Okay, thank you. So let's go with another question. Camila, cámara.
Yo quería preguntar cómo se te ocurrió el nombre de los personajes y las características.
So she's asking, how do you come up with the name of the characters and their characteristics?
So that's a good question. Actually, with the kids, so we did not test the names of the characters. We came up with them ourselves. I'll actually just show you a little bit how we made the stories. Just a couple of pictures so you can see how we made it. 1 minute. This might be interesting. So not just the, oops, doesn't work like this. You see? Here we go. You should be able to see it now.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, okay, on your screen. Can you see the crafting stories? So this is how we worked. We put a lot of sticky notes on the wall. What's important when you want to work creative, you put a lot of sticky notes on the wall. And then we made some stories. And the stories at the beginning, they looked like this. So these were stories that my kids made. And we even had, I think Ahmed was 6 years old back then. This is how the stories looked at the beginning. Did you see the stories before? That's how they look today. But at the beginning, they looked like this. So the stories didn't come from us. The stories came from my kids and from some other kids. So we just worked like this all the time. So this was the smaller kids. They made stories like this. And then we changed them, we changed them. We showed the stories to each other. This is one of the guys who was doing the drawing. So the kids would show the stories. He would take everything, and then out of those stories, we would then work with the people who make the drawings. It would look like this.
Oder auf der anderen Seite ein Anruf, wo sie einen anrufen, mit ihrem Broker telefoniert, der sagt, wenn du Geld hast, kannst du alles machen und sowas.
And then we would make them more and more. We would refine them. We would make many hundreds and hundreds of pages. And you know who wrote the text, the original texts? It was actually the kids. So what we did is we put like a paper on top, and they would write the story that goes with the images. So this was the kids that would write the story on top. So it's like we put a piece of paper on top, a paper that you can see through, and then we would write the text. So all of the text, the original text, come from the stories, and the texts are all made by kids. So that's how we came up with it. And we would always put them on the wall and see, can we understand them? Do we like them? And we would change. And the reason I'm showing you this is because all of us can make and sell a comic book. Everybody. It's not very hard. Now, can everybody make one that a lot of people are going to buy? That's a different question. But making them is something we can do. So if I kind of show you, it looked like this on the wall. And then after many, many changes, it looked like this at the end. But we started out with things that we made together, and we went many iterations. So let's play around. Back to the original question. We chose the names. Those were actually the adults who choose the name, but some together with the children. And I don't know why. It just happened that way.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Okay. We have also Jose Eustacio.
Okay.
Ask your question.
My question is that who inspired you to do the comic?
Actually, the reason we did the comic is I just wanted to spend more time with my children, and so that's where the inspiration came from. I wanted to spend time with my children, but I said, I don't just want to go to the cinema. I don't just want to play basketball. We do a lot of that, and I like doing that. I wanted to do something different, something that they would like and that I would like and that would teach them business. So the main inspiration was, how can I spend more time with my kids, but do something that they might only do once in their life, not something that we do all the time, to do something special. So that was where it kind of came from. And then, of course, I had to do something that my kids would like too. So, because my kids, if they don't want to do it, they'll say, Dad, this is boring, I'm not going to do it. So some of the things in the comic they didn't enjoy, so they just said, Dad, please, I don't like selling books, so I'll do that, you can do that yourself.
Okay.
Rebecca. Yeah.
Yes. Let's go with Emilio CR. Emilio, go ahead.
Okay. From the beginning, what complications did you have to start the comic?
Sorry, I had to sneeze. You have to repeat the question. I was sneezing. Excuse me.
Can you repeat your question, Emilio, please? Yes, again. There.
Okay. From the beginning, what complications did you have to start the comic?
Actually, good question. Starting is easy. So starting is never complicated. So we just started. We went to go make the video. We put it on the internet, and a lot of people got interested. What got complicated is because people gave us money, we had to make the comic, and it was very, very difficult to finish. Finishing is hard. So it was actually, that's why it took longer. So we were 2 years late, not just 10 minutes late, we were 2 years late. But at the end of the day, people were very happy and they were okay to wait for 2 years. So beginning was easy. The complication, I would say, was with finishing it. And it's the same in general in business. Starting is very easy. What is hard is to go on and continue, because it's not just, I'm going to have fun, I'm going to do this. It takes time and energy. So finishing was the hardest part. Finishing and then send it throughout the world. One thing that we underestimated, another big complication, is that the printer we worked with, they said, we can send the books everywhere in the world. Well, it turns out they had a very hard time sending it to America, to Mexico, to China. They were not very good at it. So some of the customers were unhappy. So we had to go to the post office and send the book ourselves. And so that was another hard one. And that's why the question before, digital is actually easier. So we still wanted a physical book, but digital is often much easier. So in the physical world, you have much more complicated stuff. So sometimes it's easier in the digital world. But I do believe I like books, so we also make physical books, in particular visual ones. Books with just text, maybe a bit less interesting. So those are some of the complications. But again, not at the beginning, really at the end. Starting is always easy.
Okay, thank you so much, Alex. Let's go now with Iñaki. Please. There you go.
Validar la idea, ¿en qué parte del modelo Canvas iría?
He wants to know, within the business model canvas, where do we put the validation of the idea?
So good, right? I was talking about the testing, and you used a different word, validation, right? That's the same thing. Very good. Let me draw this. So this is not something we do in the canvas, and it might be a little bit harder to explain, but you don't do that in the canvas. But I'm going to try to draw and share. Let me see if I can magically draw, and I just need to share my screen, so bear with me for 1 second. Here we go. Almost there. So I'm going to take...
Ahora te lo mando, sí, te lo mando.
Okay, can you see it? Good. Okay, so now I need a new one. I need to draw something, right? So I'll tell you how you do this. You start with an idea. Let me take a black brush here, color black. Good. So you might have an idea, and maybe we can even do something afterwards. It's just a quick exercise so everybody can draw something. But it starts usually with an idea you have, an idea or a vision, right? Let's draw a light bulb. This should be an idea. You can see I'm not very good at drawing. You start with an idea. Let's say you say, my idea is to make a jewelry business. My idea is to make an iPhone app. My idea is to make a surf shop, right? Just like we've seen. You take the idea and you draw it in a business model canvas, okay? So you go from the idea to the business model canvas. So that's the first step. That one I showed you with the surf shop. Now, how do you test this? The next thing you need to do is you ask, what needs to be true? What needs, whoops, see, I'm already bad at writing here. What needs to be true? What needs to be true? You need to ask this question, to be true for my idea to work. And you come up with many, many things like, oh, this needs to be true, this needs to be true, this needs to be true, this needs to be true. So if I take this surf example, right, we had the example with the surf shops. This is a surfboard. What needs to be true for this idea to work? If I want to create a surf shop in Switzerland, where I live in Switzerland, in Europe, what needs to be true? Well, people need to like surfing. If that is not true, okay, then my surf shop is not going to work. So I need to ask this question, and then if I learn that this is not true, I actually have to change the business model canvas. I say, this one is not true. I'm going to make a business model canvas, a new one, because I threw this one away. So this happens outside of your business model canvas. It's basically you throw away your business model canvas until you find one that could really work. So you always change it based on talking to customers, or what I showed you before. We did a Kickstarter campaign. So the validation happens outside, but you use the business model canvas. This is maybe your first version, okay? Version 1. and then you learn version 1 is not going to work. You make a slightly different version 2. Okay? Still not going to work because I learned customers not interested. I'm going to make a version 3. And you do that not just based on thinking, but you do it by talking to the customers all the time. Talking is one example. So you go through this until you find something that could work. That's why we sold the comic book before making it. Because imagine if nobody would have bought the comic book. What would we have done? We would have stopped the project. And that's okay because we wouldn't have wasted our time. Many people, they waste their time and their money and then they learn nobody is interested. So the validation happens outside of the business small canvas, but you use the business small canvas like a scoreboard to track the business smalls that you're looking at. Okay, let's do one exercise together. And I want everybody to I want you to make a bit, to draw a business. I literally want you to draw a business, but not a business small canvas, that's too much. I want you to take a piece of paper. So if everybody can take a piece of paper, we're going to do a little experiment. I've never done this with kids, so let's see. But you're smart kids. You're the smartest kids I've ever met, so we're going to do this together. But I need to quickly go to my slides. Let me see. We are going to draw a business together in a very simple way. You're going to draw a business idea. And you're going to draw it. Very simple. We're going to use a tool that's even simpler than the business small canvas. And here's how it works. It's something that we call, it's a customer value scene. You need to make a first drawing, and we'll call this first drawing a moment of need. When somebody has a problem, somebody is unhappy with something, okay? So you're going to make a drawing with somebody who is unhappy, okay? And then you're going to make a drawing with how are they trying to solve that problem? How are they trying to get more happy, but maybe it doesn't work today? You're going to make a drawing of today. And then you're going to make a third drawing. Here is your business idea. What are you going to do? What are you going to do over here to actually solve this problem and make the person happy? This is your business idea. Unhappy, this is how it's working out today, and you're going to make the person happy. So if I repeat myself, I'll go back. Just take this mess away that I drew right on top so we can see everything again. Go back, whoops, again. I'll repeat myself, and then I'll show you an example. You are going to draw, first, a situation where somebody is unhappy, something is not working. You're going to draw a second drawing. How are they dealing with that situation today? And then you are going to draw your business of how are you going to solve that problem. So let me show you an example. I see some of you are already drawing. You're way too fast. Very good. Let's say your teacher says, I need your essay or story tomorrow. That's a big problem. And then you get really nervous. I will not make it. This is very difficult. But then my business idea, I'm going to draw it here. What's my business idea to help this poor student here? I'm going to come up with a digital platform, which is a story maker. With a per mouse click, you have no problem anymore because I can go to this digital story maker. So I want you to very quickly draw a moment of need, how the problem is solved today, and how your business idea is going to solve it tomorrow. So just draw it, and we'll do that for just 2 minutes. And then we're going to show all of the drawings, and Rebecca is going to make a screenshot, a picture of the drawings. So we're going to go to the gallery view after, and we're going to make a picture of all of our drawings. So make sure that in 2 minutes you can get this done. So you need to make a very simple drawing. Daira, are you already done? I see you. Did you make the drawing? Erica is drawing. Perfect. I can show you the example again, just in case. You make a drawing of a moment of need, a problem, how it's solved today, and how you are going to solve it tomorrow with your business idea. I'm actually going to draw one for you. Okay? I'm going to draw another one. I actually wanted to draw one here. So here's my business idea is, okay, today, you know, I buy ice cream and I don't like this ice cream. There's no, oops, that's the wrong way around. Bad ice cream, bad ice cream. What am I going to do today? Oh, I'm going to throw the ice cream away in the bin. So I'm not happy. I'm still unhappy. What's my business idea? I have a machine where I'm going to throw that ice cream in. It's going to transform it, and it's going to serve me a new ice cream with my favorite flavor. And how are they going to know my favorite flavor? Because there is a brain implant. It's plugged into my brain, and it will know my favorite flavor and make my favorite ice cream. What a silly business idea, right? That's going to be complicated. Nobody's going to want this machine. I want this machine. Okay, 30 seconds. In 30 seconds, you need to hold up your drawing. Rebecca, are you ready to make a screenshot, a screen picture?
I am.
Excellent. Okay. 10 more seconds. Hands up if you're finished. Hands up if you're finished. I'm very disappointed if the adults didn't draw anything. The adults need to draw too. Yes. Great. Paola has a drawing. Proof. Evidence. Love it. Okay. So, doesn't matter if you're not finished with your drawing. I want you now to put down your pen. Yep, exactly. Kendra is already ready. Kendra, perfect. Everybody, hold your drawing up to the screen. Now, I'm going to do the same. Let me just unshare so we can all see, because if I share, it's not the same thing. We're going to hold it up to the screen. Okay, very good. Everybody, hold it up. 1, 2, 3. Hold it to the screen. Hold it to the screen so we can see it. Keep it there. Keep it there. Into the camera. Baruch, come on. It's okay if you're not finished. Even if you're not finished, hold it up. Everybody,
Ready?
keep it there. Yeah, keep it there. We're going to count it. I'm going to count to 10. You need it up there for 10 seconds.